Dumb debate. Best Kevin and Michael bit, when USC was good. Kissy emoji. Those were the good old days. Strigori said, did those coaches really say that as his nomination?
So that was a great. So if you're talking about a bit that includes everyone, that would be the one. But definitely the greatest bit that doesn't necessarily include us is the 5 stages of grief that Coach Callahan went through.
That was very good.
With the calls from Schick. And the fact that he had the glass with the ice in it as he was drinking scotch, and doing that is the stages of grief are incredible.
That was a very funny bit because that lasted for over a month.
Yeah.
Well, because you have to do 5 stages. Yep. So that's 5 weeks because everyone was wondering what's going to happen now that he's fired. Yeah. And you figured out a way to make it work.
And then he became Bill in New York.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Bill in Dallas.
Yeah. Let's see some other nominations. Dave Fight says Amazing Horse.
Oh,
look at my horse. Song. My horse is amazing. Yeah, and then it turned into the Mitch Sherman song. I was listening live that day, the first horse day, and it was like, what is this? And you hated it, and Kevin loved it, and hilarity ensued.
There's another song too that he loved from The Simpsons that Homer sang, and he'd do that one all over again.
Mr. Blau?
No.
Well, I know he played The Bird is the Word.
Bird is the Word.
That's Family Guy.
Oh, Family Guy.
Terrible.
Okay, sorry. Yes.
Awful.
The Bird is the Word was the worst.
Yeah.
He played it all the time.
Mustache Adam says Mangino Math. I don't even remember. What was Mangino Math?
So it was a simple game, and we would give you 2 things, and you did which one weighed more than Mangino. So it'd be like 2 pygmy hippos. Is it pygmy hippos that weigh more, or is it Mangino that weighs more?
Wow, radio back then was a little different.
Yeah, it was a little different.
That's funny.
It was a little different.
Sad Husker fan says you should have Sipple guest host. We try. He doesn't. He says no all the time.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He wants more money.
Yeah. He says he's not allowed because his boss won't let him. But then I heard from somebody that's not true.
His boss is Sam. It's Sean.
Yeah. No, not that boss. His radio boss.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That actually makes more sense.
But I heard from inside source that's not
because I wouldn't be surprised. So
not a big deal. I miss Sipple for sure though.
The great
you miss him breaking news. Your personal news?
Yeah, like when he told the audience that I was divorced. That was pretty funny.
He had half a beer.
Yeah.
The great thing about
the
Callahan stuff was it literally developed over the course of about a 4-minute conversation. Talking to Schick about it. And I said, it'd be funny if we did these things where Bill Callahan would be in certain places and he would have a line or whatever. And I gave him 4 of them. And they went in the radio booth and he came out with 20. He came out with the worst one, which was Callahan, Severe Callahan.
Mm-hmm. I'm black and you're
you're having fun. Yeah. And so he came out with that, but that was just 3 minutes of a conversation. He went in there. I gave him one that was Samoan Callahan. I gave him Council Bluffs Callahan, bled it all on black. I gave him, I think.
Did you do North O Callahan?
North O Callahan. I was going to say Black Callahan. Yes. Yeah. North O Callahan. Yes. And he just went in the room and came out with a whole bunch of them. Yeah.
Fight says R.I.P. Markle. Hey, Markle.
Hey, Markle.
Asian Joe says the Michael and Kevin era will forever be peak USC for me.
Bless you.
Thank you. I just missed the hour of hate. You know what? I don't miss the hour of hate. It died because people stopped calling.
They stopped calling.
That's why we got rid of it. Everyone's like, oh, you should bring it back. We tried and still nobody called.
Yeah.
And so it just was a bad segment.
Yeah, still
it was good in its heyday.
In its heyday, it was good
for sure.
It was so the peak moment of the show ever. I'll tell everybody,
DJs?
It's DJs. Yeah. It's the game that never happened, the bowl game that never happened.
Yep.
It's Notre Dame playing Nebraska, and they're playing on the PlayStation 2, I believe.
Probably it would have been that or early PlayStation 3.
And then it came down to literally. He let it play to a field goal.
That's so
and Nebraska made the field goal. And they ran out of beer at DJ's. They had to open the back room. It was just, when we got there, it was already packed. It's an incredible day.
If you want more, going down memory lane, when we did our 25th anniversary a couple of years ago, Michael and I talked for an hour about his time, how he got here. We talked about the bowl game that never was and other things. I guess I never really answered the question. My favorite bit, Bill and Lincoln, just in general. Yeah. I remember going to my first basketball game as a student at Nebraska in 2007 and hearing students talk about it in the student section, which is pretty wild because it's, radio and it's not like we could get 1620 in Lincoln.
Yeah.
But they were like, have you heard that? And I was like, wow, other people listen to this show too? That's pretty cool. So that would probably be my pick. Did they really say that is awesome as well? All right, some other ones. I told you a second ago, I had one that I thought would be perfect for you, and mainly because I think
that wasn't it.
I think that was. This is a different
that feels
one. Though.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I saw this on the Bill Simmons subreddit a little over a week ago, which is a great place on the internet. I love the Bill Simmons subreddit.
It's just the subreddit where they dunk on Bill Simmons. Right?
Dude. Yeah. Enough with the fat lady, okay? Stop with the fat lady.
Fat lady.
Every time if you're going that deep into Bill Simmons, you need to get out of there.
No,
you need to get out of there.
No, never.
You're too deep into Bill Simmons.
You're too deep into Bill Simmons.
No, now one of my best buds, he will send me memes from the Bill Simmons subreddit. It's a great place.
I'm out on Bill Simmons, by the way. I stopped.
I was wondering, you never texted me about him anymore.
I'm completely out. I told you what happened when he went off on the 20-minute rant about them doing the speed of the players.
Oh, yeah.
It was the dumbest thing I'd ever heard.
I thought that was pretty funny.
But it's extra. I want all the extra information.
You do. You love information.
I love information. I love that damn box when I watch baseball they're getting rid of.
K-box.
I love all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the fact it just drove me nuts, and I just stopped listening. I don't listen at all.
All right. So the question was this: what is the most devastating sports loss of the 21st century so far for fans of that team? And so the answer collectively was 28-3.
Absolutely.
The 28-3 lost by the Falcons at the Super Bowl. Of course, this is a perfect question for you because you hate the Falcons.
Second greatest Super Bowl of all time.
Behind Super Bowl.
Saints winning. Super Bowl 44.
So let me ask you the question. Is there a more devastating sports loss of this century to this point than being up 28-3?
It'd be hard to say that because Atlanta's never won it.
Yep.
It's against a team in New England that is this dominant power. You get that big lead. You had to have these incredible things happen, like the catch that Edelman made.
Insane.
It'd be hard.
I watch that catch like once a month.
So the only thing I can think even close to that, and it can't reach because it's a Super Bowl, but the first game of the series with the Cavaliers versus the Warriors.
Oh, when LeBron dropped 50?
LeBron played incredible, and then J.R. Smith did the thing he did because they actually had a chance in that series based off of that.
If they would have won that game, I think that the series was going to go 7.
And then after that, it was over.
Yeah.
What about the 2004 World Series?
2004 World Series? Well, the
Red Sox, they came back from a deficit.
ALCS.
Yeah.
ALCS,
my bad.
Yeah. Yankees, right.
If you were to do a collective, I mean, that's the first time in North American sports history, or at least since like the 40s in hockey, that a team came down.
It happened in hockey. It's happened in
a
hockey
long
a couple
time
times,
ago.
yeah.
But that was first time, at least in baseball, and it was in, the greatest baseball rivalry.
Yes.
And the other one that got mentioned a lot was the Malcolm Butler Patriots Super Bowl. But as most people pointed out, but the Seahawks had just won a Super Bowl, whereas, as you just mentioned, the Falcons have not won a Super Bowl.
Let me say this because it never gets said enough. They had the exact same situation Seattle did 5 times during the season. They ran the ball. They scored 1 out of the 5.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying they shouldn't have run the ball,
mm-hmm.
but the reason why they threw the ball is because they had numbers showing that when they tried it during the season, it didn't work.
Yeah.
The play before that, when he gets tripped up at the 2, that's when the game should have scored. That's when he should have scored.
Dude, it's every time I watch that play, I'm like, how it's there.
Yeah, it's right there. He's got to just cut inside a little bit. He scores.
Yeah. Some other nominations for Guardians fans: losing Game 7 of the 2016 World Series in extra innings. Yeah, that was obviously brutal. Nick, the Brazil-Germany game shows up in here.
Oh, fun.
Germany 7, Brazil 1.
That's
what
awesome.
about, and this is where I got my wires crossed earlier, the 2007 World Series where Rocktober was on that insane run and then Boston just steamrolled him?
I mean, see, that's not like devastating is you had it then you don't. And so like that's why the 2016 World Series comes up for the Guardians fans, because they had the lead and it goes to extras and all this stuff happens.
Mark is saying, what about the UMKC over Virginia?
Oh, that's good.
The fact that Virginia won the next year, though, is still incredible.
Again, it kind of takes away from maybe a little bit of the pain. Just like with Purdue, right? They lose in round 1 as of 1, and then the next year they make it all the way to the national championship game.
Kevin did those games.
How about the
crazy.
2025 Black Friday game in Lincoln between Iowa and Nebraska?
That was tough, but the 2024
2024 is much worse.
Is much worse. I did a whole podcast series about it. You can find it wherever you
sure did.
Somebody got kicked in the groin.
Over and over and over again. All right, other questions that we have for Dumb Debates. Do you have a Dumb Debate?
I do not.
Okay. Sky wants to know our Formula One drivers, athletes. We got a lot of our Formula One drivers, athletes in the mentions. I mentioned this one going into break from Rick. How do you have the apps on your phone arranged? Do you have them arranged by type on separate pages? For example, do you have all your sports apps arranged together on the same page, then a news page, travel page, streaming apps page, etc.? So he sent in a screenshot, and so It looks like this is a page of sports apps. So we have Seahawks, Major League Baseball, NHL, NFL, Huskers, Mavericks, Creighton, ESPN, ATP, WTA Live, NCHC TV. That's hockey, right? PGA Tour and NFL Pool.
So I have folders.
Yeah, I do
Yeah,
folders.
I also do folders. Why
do
would
folders.
you?
So my folder
I don't do folders.
Has the Action Network, it has Twitter in it, it has FanDuel, has the Score, has the DraftKings, Score Mobile, and that's email, Twitter, draft, and then I have another one that is Facebook, YouTube, the health app, my Bakers and Hy-Vee apps. So I do folders.
So I have one folder, Nick, and I just put all sorts of apps that I barely ever touch in there. And if I need them, I just search for them. Because I do group stuff together, like on my main homepage. I guess the main one, not so much, but like all of my airline apps are all together. My book apps are together. All of my, the SoFi, the FMBO, like those types of apps, the money apps, I guess is what you could call them, are all together. But part of it is where stuff was when I first got a phone all like this all the way back in 2012, and I'm a creature of habit. And so my main page is just the stuff that I use the most. And so it's like my health app, my running app, my Twitter, mail, music app, all the podcasts. Scrabble. Yeah, all those types of things.
So I'll arrange where my apps are based off of what my screensaver is, just to make it look clean. But the apps and stuff I use the most, the folders are on my first page. It's like chess, games, news, F1, etc.
Yeah.
And then it kind of goes in order of least amount of use, except for the last page. The last page is if I just have bookmarks just on my home screen.
Yeah.
That I just need to access.
So interesting. You're one of the people that wants your home screen as empty as possible. So
I don't. I only have.
Then you have to scroll.
I only have 3 pages though. I try to keep my main screen. If there's another app that I use rarely, I just won't put it on my home screen.
I always have a picture and everything's down here. So the picture's always, you can see the picture.
My picture's just in the background. I don't really care.
Yeah.
My apps. Dilo says folders on the main page, sports, finance, etc. Sad Husker fan, apps I use the most on the first page, then random on the rest. By the way, going back to the question about the worst loss or the most, heartbreaking loss of the 21st century, undefeated Patriots, says the texter from the 402.
Oh, okay.
I mean, talk about being immortal. Of course, the one thing that does take the sting away from that is they've won so many, and so 6. People aren't going to feel bad for you. If that would have been their only Super Bowl opportunity of this whole generation, and they would have lost it, it'd be like if the Cowboys got there as an undefeated team and then failed. It was like, oh, cool, congratulations, it'd be the worst day of my life.
And then getting the Atlanta one kind of displaces that. The 2 losses to the Giants are horrible, I'm sure, for Patriots fans. I feel so bad for you. But the win over the Falcons,
you have the 28-3, and you have the Malcolm Butler game.
Yeah, it makes it all up for it.
By the way, Sam, shout out to listener Sam. He is also on the Bill Simmons subreddit. He says that it is re-flipped on Bill. They think he's re-apexing. They're positive-ish now. Yeah, people are pretty excited with what he's doing over there. They're doing Sakari on the rewatchables next month.
Nice.
I've never watched rewatchables because I think his takes on movies and TV are stupid.
Yeah, you should check it out.
I listened to the Jaws one. I wanted to find him and kill him.
But you just said you've never checked it out, so you did check it out one time.
I do that thing. That's the only time I've ever listened to it. What was Jaws?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and this was very early on in the rewatchables. This wasn't on YouTube or anything.
Yeah, for sure. That's 2018.
And I hear him, I obviously when I listen to him, he mentioned it. I listened to that one time and
you're
I'm
out?
like, I'm out. I'll never listen again.
Steve says, I'm not sure I've ever laughed harder than I did when Kugler first broke out the amazing horse song. Michael was so enjoyed.
I was not enjoying it.
You were not having it.
I was not enjoying it.
Sam writes, why don't we still get the Mitch Sherman song? Mainly because there are things in there that he just it mentions that he writes for a paper, or I guess we could play the other one where it says where the internet is made. But honestly, we just might not have it.
Yeah, I think we tried to find it once.
Yeah.
My song that I had for him when I was at the paper was Where in the World is Waldo? And we built the song off of that because every time I would talk to him, it was at ESPN. He was someplace else.
Well, I remember I made one when you were still here before you went to the paper, and it was Where in the World is Mitch Sherman from what song was
Carmen
that? Carmen San Diego. That was the one that we made here.
Yep.
Do you have anything, Nick?
No.
All right. Yeah. So we don't have it anymore. That's why we just don't have it anymore. Jim says, please forgive the random thought, but your Callahan stuff made me remember old bits. Chick and Nick's Martini Martini was one of the best. I like that, and I like the one where they bleep out words so it sounds like they're cursing.
That's awesome.
I think that is a very funny one.
Especially when it's Kent.
Yes.
Kents are the best. Yeah.
That stuff is really
They did Polini Martini, and then they did Frost Scotch Frost. And then they try to do something with Moscow Rule.
Yeah.
And they never really got into
funny.
that.
Omaha Knight says, going back to the sports question, Arkansas College World Series dropped foul ball.
Oh my God!
Ooh,
yes,
that's a good one.
I have, Colin Wilson, huge Arkansas fan.
Oh,
If you reference that to him, it just breaks his heart.
I was gonna say he probably won't be.
That's it.
Sam, going back to what we were talking about, so it'd be like having this incredible season where you finally move on in the tourney and then dropping to a 13 seed. Let's hope that doesn't happen for Nebraska this year. Nick, do you have a dumb debates question for the show today?
No, I don't.
All right. Kyle says, should we normalize storming baseball diamonds the way courts and fields are stormed? Should we storm baseball
That
fields?
is hard because of the netting.
That's
not
true.
really a
You'd
good
have
way
to,
to
you'd
do
have
that.
to, yeah, everyone would have to,
I've seen them come from the outfield. So when the Yankees won
Kinda
in
high up.
1978, when they won in 1978 on the Chris Chambliss home run, they all came from the outfield. You may remember the video of him running around. He's holding his hat. They're trying to take his hat, and he's running around. And he knocked come around third base. He throws a forearm. Chris Chambliss a big guy. He throws a forearm and just wipes a dude out.
Well, I was thinking of Hank Aaron, of course, his home run. There's,
those
that
guys
one
come and
guy
tapping him on the back,
And
and which is scary because he had all the death threats.
Exactly.
But that one for the Yankees though was incredible.
All right, let's see. I thought that there was one other one in here.
One of my favorite things from the old Unsportsmanlike Conduct was Dave. We called him Asian Dave.
Asian Dave, yeah.
And I remember when I left there, his dad sent me this long email about how Dave, wouldn't talk and he was afraid to talk because he had this kind of a speech impediment and he was so shy. And us putting him on the radio, completely changed his life.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know.
Cool.
It was incredible.
Looks like we have Mark who wants to chime in on the bowl game that never was. Mark, what's going on?
Hey, remembering the bowl game that never was, which Michael was mentioning a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Michael, I was there.
Yeah.
And a couple of things I remember distinctly. One was in that back room, you remember they had bleachers set up? So we were actually sitting on bleachers back there.
That was the piano room. That's what it used to be, the piano room. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yep.
And then a couple other things were, one, it was an unusually high-scoring game. It was like, I don't remember exactly, but like 69 to 66 or something crazy like that.
Yep.
And there were like 11 interceptions in the game.
Gosh, that is
and it was
Perhaps
complete
they
with
had
the
like
computer.
and Notre Dame had like 4.
Yeah, it was completely all.
It
He
was
let the computer do it. He didn't even change anything. He allowed it just to be played. It worked out perfectly. Yeah,
exactly. It was a hell of a lot of fun though. That was a great memory you brought up today.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for the call.
Channel 7, I told them about it. I said, this is
always the
big.
worst part of the story. I hate this part of the story.
And they said that they didn't, Kathy Beeler was like, nah, it's not going to be. And they didn't go. And then later they were told, and she was like, I didn't think it would be that big of a deal. It didn't sound like that big of a deal. And I'm like, dude, this was one of the biggest things that happened in the state that day.
Yeah, it turns into an all-time memorable moment.
Yep. And Channel 7 didn't cover it.
Yeah, imagine if you guys were doing like YouTube. So like we could go back and watch like the show and see it, but of course it comes
Didn't
in
have that kind of
2007
stuff,
and
yeah.
YouTube is barely around.
We had nothing.
A couple more that I saw before we go to break. Joe in Vegas, this is a very sportsy one. If Tom Osborne doesn't ramrod Frank Solich to become the next head coach at Nebraska when he retires, does Bill Byrne stay as AD and we never have to deal with Steve Peterson or anything that follows after that? Basically, the question I think is, if Byrne gets to choose his head coach, does he stick around instead of leaving for Texas A&M?
Probably. And if Tom Osborne gets the AD he wants instead of Byrne, then you have a situation where he may stay a couple of extra years. Maybe that means another national championship. And then when he does step down, the guy that's available at that point is Urban Meyer to take over for Nebraska.
And Nebraska's still great right now.
Yeah.
I guess Urban probably would have flamed out really fast.
Something
like
would have
he always
happened.
does.
Yeah. He would have went undefeated the one season.
He
for sure.
would have absolutely.
Yes.
They
Yes,
would
he
have
would've.
absolutely won a
Yep.
national championship.
Yep.
Peter says Josh, John, Nick, and Matt McMaster are competing in the Olympics in bobsledding. What is the order of the 4 of you on a bobsled? I don't even know the purpose of the order.
So the pushers, the pilot is the one in the front.
Okay.
Then you have the guy who's just riding for weight, and then you have the next guy who jumps in. Then you have the pusher. So the pusher is the guy. He's Herschel Walker.
Okay.
You know, he's the big leg guy, the big strong guy. The guy in the front, who's the pilot, is the guy that knows how to drive.
Okay. Who knows how to drive of us?
I mean, I've never driven
Did
a
you
bobsled.
say John?
John
John would be the driver.
So John is
I feel
the
like
driver,
I'd be the weight guy.
and then it's me, it's Nick, and it's McMaster.
Matt would be the pusher.
Yeah.
I think he's the biggest out of you guys.
Yeah.
I think. like physically, and he's younger.
Yeah.
So
I'll
he
be
probably-
weight guy. I'll
he
just
probably-
happy to be there.
Be the pusher guy.
Happy
And
to
now
be
you have to
there.
lean. Remember, be leaning too.
I can lean.
You got to lean.
All right.
All 4 guys got to lean.
There we go. That is Dumb Debates. What did you think, Michael, for your first or second time participating in Dumb Debates?
It was amazing.
It was amazing.
It
Awesome.
was amazing.
Chris texts in 1998 NFC Championship game. F.U. Gary Anderson. Now the problem is that
Wrong.
that's
Yeah.
not in
Too
this
old.
century.
Yes, too old. Yes.
But I understand why that would be heartbreak. That was the best Super Bowl that never was. Falcons take the Viking spot. Vikings Broncos would have been so much better.
I still can't believe he missed that field goal. I remember sitting there thinking, and the
it's
announcer
perfect.
said it.
Yeah, Pat Summerall.
He
He's
has
been
not
perfect
been
all year.
Yep.
Boom, misses it.
And misses it.
Vikings. That would have put them up by 10 points, Nick. They would have won the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
And once you're up by 6, it was one of those 6 things. You ever get up by 6? If a field goal puts you up by 6, never ever kick that field goal because you're going to lose by a point.
Yep.
That's why they were trying to figure out what they're going to do at that point. So